What's going on, everybody? It's Coach Reg back on deck with another one for y'all today. Now, if you are new to my channel, my name is Coach Reg, aka Mr. Intensity, and I talk about all things health, sexual health, physical health, spiritual health, mental health, emotional health, and I do the best I can to open your mind up to those areas of health so you can be more informed and better take care of yourself. Now, if you are new to my channel, please like the video and subscribe and make sure you hit the notification bell. And if you have something to say, leave it in the comments section below. All right. So now in this video, we're going to talk about vagina, punani, vulva, that type of stuff. We are going to delve into the topic today of sexual health, because I do not believe that when we were teenagers, when we were going through puberty, we were taught properly in sex education. That is, on purpose, they were taught this or not taught this deliberately, just so we could not know as adults what we're doing, how we're doing it, if we should be doing it, what should we do in order to do it, and those types of things. So this video, we're going to get into eating the box, fellatio, oral sex. Should you do it? Should you not do it? Now, a lot of black men, a lot of us do it, but more of us don't. And there's a few reasons. What if you should, if you're with your girl, with your woman, and she's like, I'm not giving you head, and if you don't want to give me head, you're like, I don't want to be doing all this all messy down there and everything. Lots going on down there. And she's like, it's the same thing as you, so I ain't doing you. Well, first things first, it's not the same thing. But we understand where you're coming from. The clitoris, obviously, has more nerve endings on it than the penis. So I understand the importance of you wanting to get pleasure. But there's a lot of things that you don't know about your own vagina that you're missing out on. And it could be a reason why your man is not going down there. Maybe he get a little smell. Maybe it's something different. Maybe he just don't feel like it. Either way you look at it, I feel like a lot of us should be properly educated on proper understanding of your internal body before any man does this. Now, personally, back before I was married, I had a rule, right? I had a body count rule. Now, my thing is, when a woman normally says her body count, I double it. I don't like to go down there if you got a high body count. I just keep on thinking there's too many penises that have been in your body. And if you want to understand, you should give it a long time before a penis enters the body before you put your mouth down. So she just got a relationship about a month ago. I'm like, I'm not touching you for at least a year down there. All right. Now, females like, you really? Yup. Because a lot of y'all just don't understand what sperm actually does and how long it actually stays in your body after a guy's in there. You should go read the book Sperm Wars, and that will blow your mind as far as sperm and all that stuff. But right now, we're talking about oral sex. So let's get back to it. Now, with oral sex, a lot of times, a lot of women only can have an orgasm or come off of clitoral stimulation. Why is that? Well, the excessive masturbating could be why. But another reason why is because the man that you're probably with, you're not sexually compatible with. Which means if his size doesn't match up with your size internally, when guys decide to have sexual intercourse, he's not going to be able to touch G-spot, because some of your G-spots are further back than they are, which needs a certain shape or length or width to actually get to it. So we can understand why you only may need clitoral stimulation in order to get down there. And you want the tongue. You don't want the fingers. You want the tongue. So a lot of men don't want to do it. Well, in this video, I'm going to let you know that maybe you should do it and maybe you shouldn't do it based off of these parameters. And we're going to talk about what she eats. There has to be certain boundaries that must be crossed before you put your face down there. Now, I'm not talking about eating the groceries, because that was something that did not come from us. They actually call it rimming, eating the booty hole. Bruh, sis, if you doing that, that's nasty, okay? And that didn't come from us. That is popular. That's been popularized by celebrities who do way wilder stuff than that. And it pushed to the masses, and now y'all do it. But y'all shouldn't do it, because that is not sanitary at all. if you clean my trash can out outside, I'm still not going to lick it based off of what was in there. And just because it's clean with soap does not mean it's okay for my mouth to touch it. All right? So eating the groceries, hell nah. All right? Let's talk about oral sex because there's many benefits to it, many benefits to sex, but there's certain things she shouldn't be consuming. First thing she should not be consuming is meat and dairy, okay? The reason why is because when you eat meat or dairy or consume products derived from animals who have been infused with growth hormones like xenoestrogen, which belongs to a group of xenohormones, compounds are usually artificially created to mimic the characteristics of hormones. And this right now can actually disrupt endocrine function and the path of estrogen to the vagina, leaving it prone to infection. All right? Prone to infection. All that, let me ask you a question. When y'all eat meat, right, and you got to spit and you got all that mucus, where else do you think it's going? Down there. So fellas, if you're eating a bunch of meat and you got all these mucus membranes in your mouth and all that we're going to get into sugar. But, you probably shouldn't be going down there at all. But if y'all both doing it and maybe y'all don't see a problem with it, I'm just letting you know, if she ain't vegan, I ain't eating. Simple as that. All right? But we're going to get into the next one. The next one is sugar. This is a big one because this one is messing up the ability to have full sex and keeping her moist. Let's talk about it. Now, when it comes down to sugar, basically they promote vaginal yeast growth because the vagina releases secretions that contain sugar, which paves the way for yeast to accumulate in the moisture area. Sugar can also alter the pH level of the vagina, which can prompt more yeast and bacterial growth in the vagina too, which means she can get bacterial vaginosis, okay? She can get these yeast infections. She can be drier than the Sahara Desert. Because what sugar does, see, sugar is made from the sugar cane. And when they put the cane in the machine, out comes the white substance of sugar. It's stripped of its minerals, its nutrients. So what happens is when you eat sugar, your body looks at sugar and says, I have to make this whole again. So in order to make the sugar whole, when it goes into your body, it has to pull it from your water. It has to pull it from your bones, your muscles, your ligaments, and your tendons. This comes from eating sugar. It pulls it from your body. Okay? What do you think it's going to do to your vagina? So if you're thinking she dry, you got to use, all of your gels and everything like that. You got to check her diet. And she has to drink at least half her body weight in ounces of water just so she can properly be hydrated. The body is 85% water. You need that water. The next one is where most of y'all probably met her, at the bar. Now, you didn't realize, fellas, that when you was buying her your drinks, trying to take her home and butter her up, you were actually messing up the closing the party. Because when you do it to her, she got to be wet. It's good to warm the pot. Like, women are very delicate beings. You got to warm the pot up. First, you got to talk to her a little bit. You got to get her mental stimulated. Then you got to do a little foreplay. Get her. She ain't just going to look at you every time and be wet. I'm just going to newsflash. You may look good, fellas, but she not going to be all the way ready all the time, especially if she ain't eating right. Like, if she ain't eating right, you can forget it, right? Now, when it comes down to it, the liquor is a diuretic, okay? Now, when she ran to the bathroom all them 5 times when you were talking to her at the bar and when y'all drunk and you getting her drunk, she went to go pee. And her pee was probably clear. Well, what liquor does, people, is dehydrate your system. And, it gives you cotton mouth, or you already know. So when you down there, you ain't even going, you all dry anyway at the end of the day. But your vagina can also become dehydrated if you're drinking too much without consuming water. So when y'all out there having drinks, I guess she's going to have a gallon jug next to her because she got to replace what's being lost. All right? The next one is white bread. Any refined carbs can cause a quick spike in blood sugar, and this may increase the risk of BV or developing yeast infections, okay? You really got to check her diet. You could be bad as hell in the streets, but I'm looking at your stomach. Your stomach tells me everything about what you're eating. Fellas, we not doing enough background checks, all right? I'm not talking about like what she done, who she worked for. I'm talking about her internal background check. What are you eating? Are you exercising? Do you take care of your body? Do you sweat at least 4 times a week? If she's not sweating 4 times a week, you know she holding on to all them toxins, and you know her vagina is going to try to get that out, right? It's going to try to get that out. So just think about that, because a lot of y'all men, like, we getting focused, but we got to know what to choose, right? We got to know what to choose. When I was younger, I wish I had somebody telling me these things, because I made a lot of bad choices as a youth. I don't want you to have to go through that if you don't have no wife, if you don't have no kids, if you don't got no BMs or nothing like that. Yo, listen to what I'm saying, because y'all know a lot of y'all dudes trying to eat it to get to it, but when you eat it, I don't see many people ain't slipping on no condoms. But if you did a background check on her, you would know who you're going raw dog up in there with, because a lot of y'all just get caught up in the lust. And remember, when that brain loses that fluid, it goes down there and you're not thinking straight. So try thinking straight before you make those life-changing decisions, all right? I'm telling y'all right now. Next, asparagus. Asparagus is going to cause that thing to smell. It's going to mess with the pH. It's going to get like, what you been eating? You know what I mean? And if a woman's eating that, her smell is going to be off. Listen, if she yanks those panties off and you already smell something, yo, red flags. Do not put your head down there. Caution, caution, caution. Do not put your head down there, all right? Another thing, ladies, you wearing panties, as talked about in the previous video with Lita, talking about the female health, wearing panties clogs that up. The female vagina needs to breathe. So wearing panties, I'm telling you, it's going to gain all that sweat. She yanked them shits off. It don't smell right, all right? And I don't care what she sprays down there, because a lot of them be spraying shit down there and everything like that. Like, listen, if you got to spray something down there and it don't have natural, pheromone scents that come out of you that's going to attract me, then you ain't eating right. And you ain't the one I want to go down there with. Because a lot of women like, if you ain't eating the box, and I ain't trying to deal with you. Listen, if you ain't eating right, I ain't trying to eat the box. Simple as that. All right, and that has to be parameters, because what's going on inside, if it's foreign to the body, the melanin of your body is going to try to transport it out your system by any means necessary, whether it's mucus, whether it's sweat, whether it's feces, whether it's urine, all right, whether it's vaginal secretion fluid. Do you know one of the most healing substances in the world is when a woman comes, all the minerals in that, and one of the other ones is her period blood. But I'm going to leave that there. None of y'all ain't ready for that. But yup. But a lot of these women, they come in some horse. They like, and a lot, like, and it ain't just the women. It's the men. I talk to men all the time. Because a lot of y'all are like, you talking to us. You killing us. You messing us up. I'm just trying to educate my fellas on what we ain't educated with. Because everybody focusing on y'all. But we talking about the fellas. And we talking about women. If you are somebody who cares about your body, you might want to start taking care of it and get a colon cleanse and cleanse your body out. Because in order to properly start to take things, you're going to have to properly cleanse yourself out. But I didn't come in this video with problems and no solutions, okay? I didn't do that. Now, another thing she shouldn't be eating is processed food, okay? If this woman is eating processed food, or see now, with all the things that she's eating, processed food, out of everything that I said, is probably the worst. But the thing is, 95% of your serotonin is in your gut. And you have a microbiome that lives inside of you, an ecology of non-human organisms which love the bullshit that you eat, or like the good stuff that you eat. The problem is, when you stop giving your microbiome the good stuff, it grabs and holds to your nervous system and gives you thoughts. A lot of time, you can't think straight, or you're not at your full creative essence because you properly don't eat right. And because you don't eat right, it's going to affect your mood, your daily behavior, your creativity, the way you think. So a lot of you women have mood swings, PMSing, you're doing all these things because you simply aren't eating right. You might need some maca. And we're going to get into some things that's going to help you out, all right? Right now, okay? One of the first things you need to eat, cranberries. Cranberries contain powerful acidic compounds to fight your bacteria, and it's also good for UTIs. The next one is sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes contain high amounts of vitamin A, which is linked to fertility and can help strengthen muscle tissues for vaginal, healthy uterine walls. The next one is maca root. Maca root It helps the relief from mood swings due to hormonal imbalance, PMS, menopause, and PCOS. Imbalance in hormones cause several issues such as PMS, menopause, or mood swings that she be snapping at you at. She takes some maca, she not snapping at you. This video is sponsored by In10sity Fitness United, where we source the best products known to man and we bring them to the USA. We have your crystals, we have your cookbooks, we have even your incense. We have many things that you need. Check it out at visit In10sityfitnessunited.com. Back to regular scheduled program. I'm telling y'all right now. The next one is apples. Apples contain phytoestrogen, okay, and antioxidants would help stimulate vaginal blood flow and lubrication and the ability to orgasm. One apple a day, I'll be having you orgasming away. I'm telling you right now, all right? And it's going to have you wetter than the Bahamas in December. I'm telling you all right. Fellas, if you want your sexual intimacy with your woman to be pleasurable, teach her about her body and what she wished her dad would have done or her teachers would have done at school. You are now her leader. Now, she got to want to follow you, because if she's not trying to follow you, that might not be a woman you want to build with. But you got to be somebody that's worth being followed to follow. Women only like to follow a confident leader. A lot of y'all men worry about your confidence. Because you're not confident, you feel like you got to go down there first before you do anything else. If you got to go down there to get it, then you ain't like you're not at the right level yet. You don't got to do all that to get it. All right, you don't got to. All right, you can do all that, but there's certain parameters that she must be able to follow. You know, a guideline. If she ain't following that guideline, you have no business putting your mouth down there. Next one is avocados. Avocados contain libido-boosting healthy fats, vitamin B6 and potassium, and can enhance lubrication and strengthen the vaginal walls. And the last one, plant fats, such as sea buckthorn oil, okay? Sea buckthorn oil, okay? I'm telling you right now, because if your woman is dry, she needs to be consuming some type of healthy plant fat that can help with lubrication for her body. Also, proper lubrication for the brain as well. So I hope this video helped you out today. I gave y'all a lot to think about. I mean, listen, if your female is trying to get you to go down there and she's not following these guidelines, bruh, you don't have to do it. It's not like, yo, she not healthy. Yo, that's serious. It's not the same as you giving us head. It's not the same thing. We are dealing with flesh. That's like you put in your mouth and we open our stomach up and you go and deal and strictly lick our colons or some shit like that. Like that's flesh. That's her space. That's her womb. She has to be able to maintain that. And women, you douching also messes that up too. I forgot about that. Douching messes that up. All right. Women love when you understand their bodies. They love when you can tell them certain things about themselves and pleasure them in certain ways about themselves that they didn't even know was there. If you get a woman here in her mind, yo, she'll follow you to the ends of the earth. But if you're just trying to yah her, listen, she not going to respect that, because she, you know, it's many dicks out there for her. It's many of that out there. It's many of that. But there ain't many men who know how to really educate her about her body. Get her there. Like, damn, let me tell you about the clitoris and where your G-spot's located. And then you touch her in a certain way where it hits the clitoris in her G-spot. She's like, oh, like I'm telling you. All right? So, listen, if you like this video, if you want to subscribe to my channel, hit the subscribe and hit the notification bell. I know this helped you. Listen, your health teacher wasn't teaching you this stuff. And if you're a teenager, yo, you about to be in a lane where you doing it already. So hey, listen, this ain't for kids, but people who are going through puberty, we know what you're doing. We was teenagers too. I knew. Listen, I went down on my first girl when I was 16 years old. Listen, I wish I knew this stuff. All right? She probably was eating McDonald's, Burger Things, the International Hospital, Pulmonary Disease, Taco Hell, all that stuff. All right? I wish I would have known it. And I'm going to teach my kids this stuff too. All right? I hope they listen. But at the end of the day, I'm showing you, because this is the guide. All right? This is the guide. So I love y'all. Until next video, I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.